Probably you have some situations in your life and you just say, oh, if I would know. And several techniques and people who are in spirituality often tell you to stop this kind of thoughts. Just don't go there. But sometimes you're thinking about those experiences when you might just wanted to act differently. Today's topic related to those times when I was surprised when I changed my course of life from an architect to a spiritual one. Of course, all cases are different, so I don't want to make any generalization. Hi, my name is Laszlo Raymond. Today, this is about a few things I wish I would know when I started my spiritual journey. What I understand right now about spiritual life, among many other expressions, it's worn out a little bit, as it appeared in a wider sense. Maybe I belong to this part as well, since I do not live a spiritual life 100%. Whatever does it mean being spiritual? But let's continue with the first thought about the sentence. It starts with, if I would know. There is a Hungarian cartoon from the early 90s where one of the characters always says to her husband, I wish I would marry Hufnagel Pisti, the other guy, which makes me always remember for when I hear such a sentences. And the other thing, it's maybe around the time I developed that I can't find any logic behind this thought. I wish I would decide the other way, or if I would know, I would go left. Mostly in those cases, you will hear from a wise people, you can't be any other places nor any other state of experiences what you are in right now. Actually, I use those sentences too, since I do agree with them. The decisions you make, even it can sound too square, you made by your own previous experiences. But if you are not always aware what's going on around you, then you will record all those days without observation. And the automatic system will do its job, record for you, and bring it back when it's necessary. But then why all those spiritual people telling you not to start even with those sentences? Mostly because you might not be aware of what's going on in the background. Do you remember when the events when some of your reactions just appeared, popped up from nowhere? When you felt you would like to swat the complaining person in front of you at the cashier with the pink unicorn? Or do you consider yourself as a calm person? So the thing is, not the thought itself can be a problem, but your reaction, when you just react according your past events. And you start to make grudge against yourself or others, or you just create regrets because you judge those events as bad as hell. It isn't a problem, rather a good thing, when you look at your past experiences and make conclusions. However, it can really limit you if you stuck in the past or regret every decisions you've ever made. Spirituality, according my word, means I am alive. It isn't a style of life or a hobby, or I'm in a reality and a time and the other time in a spirituality. The spirituality for me means mapping my limits and shift those I would like to, and all those tools which helps me to do that, so I can be on my best towards my goals. There was a time though when I thought totally differently, and of course I have some thoughts I rather keep for myself. But the spirituality is getting more closer to everyone, more than some people might think. A tale or a story, for example, which has some message and helps you think outside of the box. Of course, there is a charm for a nice and a calm place to create and rest. So as Lagodas, for example, the room where they create the new sets are always surrounded with white color, nothing to disturb. I myself also like to have a proper place for seminars or for sessions, but those days I don't need all the equipment that I was thinking impossible to start anything without. I was talking recently in an interview about how hard it is to ask for help sometimes, and what kind of issues can we find as the reasons for this. In a situation someone gives you an advice to leave everything behind and let go of everything and just keep what this person is telling. So I think there are some situations like this when someone needs to take those radical steps in order to achieve the desired outcome. But most of the cases, according to my experience, the situation is different. There are no coincidences, and the situation we find ourselves are in those too. They have meanings because it helps to find a way in the known and the unknown as well. For some reasons, our mind is working like this. all of our experiences and matters, even though at the moment maybe they seem the less practical ones. Most of the cultures not only accepted but also supported to ask an opinion of an outsiders and put it into someone's life. I wasn't more than 10 years old when I first heard the phrase, the wise man learns from the mistakes of others and the stupid learns from its own. I think nowadays differently, since I do my best to make all the conclusions as possible from my own experiences. An outsider's point of view can really help, but you should carefully look around when you accept the help of another. The way how you find your most comfortable one, it's really personal. Still, it's really important to take care of the size. As I already mentioned in my previous videos, the intuition and the inner compass are not a supreme privilege for a few. Everyone can learn new skills and develop existing ones, but still, it's good to hear another opinion. There are zillions of informations available these days, either for free, either for a good price, which was before achievable for just a few. Of course, there are at least two important drawbacks next to advantages. One of them is because of the huge amount someone may find that place between two chairs. And the other is some people appeared as well who are using or misusing this information for their own purposes. Of course, I would like to mention a good example as well, and today's topic refers to it too. I think it was around 10 years ago when a lot of things happened to me, but I couldn't see the meaning of them. Also, I needed to acknowledge that my world was getting smaller and smaller. And then it was a changing over the last years, and I found amazing experiences explore new information. Sometimes I could find them in front of me, and sometimes they just led me to thousands of miles. One thing for sure, I had to make the decisions by my own that it's enough what I had before, and now is the time to take the next steps. My journey in spirituality made me realize a lot. There are lots of revelations, but there are so many unique situations. You cannot just put universally any of them into all situations to all people. It's just not working. Then I realized that spirituality, according to some definition, for example, connecting to a higher understanding or to a source, this is for everyone, not just for a few. And also helped me realize that nor the techniques, nor the users of those techniques are infallible. It's really worth to start your motivation and energy from inside out to manage your life. In many cases, to know yourself will help you when you need it the most. You can believe in your inner power, skills, you can develop them, you can learn a lot, new things, and develop existing ones. However, it's worth to use your clarity, what sources you are using. Thanks for listening.